So I thought it might be interesting to compare the newest and one of the best iPads out there, in my opinion, the iPad Air 5 versus one of the best tablets from Lenovo, the Tab P12 Pro. Obviously, the most important category is going to be the price. The iPad Air 5 starts right around $600 for the 64GB version, where the Tab P12 Pro starts at $700, and that's with 128GB of storage. But keep in mind, I've already seen the P12 Pro go on sale for $500, and the iPad Air 5 I've seen on sale for around $560. You get 8GB of RAM with the new iPad, 6 or 8GB of RAM with the P12 Pro, and up to 256GB of storage on both tablets. You can also use a micro SD card for expanded storage for the Tab P12 Pro. But keep in mind, there's several versions to choose from when you consider the SIM or LTE versions with the iPad. And then as far as I know, only a Wi-Fi version on the P12 Pro. Sort of another big difference is going to be the screens. You get a 12.6-inch AMOLED display, 2560 by 1600 resolution on the Tab P12 Pro, and it's going to have 120Hz refresh rate. It also has 600 nits brightness, where you get a 10.9-inch IPS display on the iPad Air 5, 60Hz refresh rate, 2360 by 1640 resolution, and then 500 nits brightness. So you can see the P12 Pro is a little bigger, but both screens look really nice in person. I think you're gonna enjoy watching movies, playing games, reading, just browsing online, regardless of which one you go with. You also get 2160p resolution on YouTube, full HD playback resolution for Netflix on both tablets as well. Both tablets have pretty good viewing angles. One doesn't seem to be a lot better than the other. They've got nice contrast, vibrant colors, high resolution, just about everything you would want in a tablet. And then probably the biggest difference between these two is going to be the battery life. With the P12 Pro being a bigger tablet, you would think it has better battery life than the iPad, and in this case, you would be correct. In fact, it's not even close. We're talking over 11 hours battery life for the Tab P12 Pro in my battery drain test versus only just over 5 hours for the iPad Air 5 in that same test. Not sure what Lenovo is doing, but Apple needs to step up their game. Both tablets are going to last long enough to get you through the whole day with normal usage, especially if you don't use 100% screen brightness. But the P12 Pro has got to be one of the longest lasting tablets that I've tested on the channel so far. So yeah, not too much of a choice here. If you want the tablet with better battery life, you're going to want to go with Lenovo. Good thing is both tablets are USB-C charging. You've got up to 20-watt charging with the iPad, up to 45 watts with Lenovo. Performance-wise, the iPad has 8GB of RAM, where the P12 Pro has 6 or 8, depending on which version you go with. You get a Snapdragon 870 with the Tab P12 Pro versus the new M1 processor in the iPad Air 5. When you're looking at Geekbench testing alone, the iPad's going to win this one pretty easily. It's got more than double the multi-core score and about double the single-core score. And if you're wanting a tablet for video editing, I would go with the iPad, since you're going to be able to download LumaFusion, Adobe Rush. It just seems to have a little bit better apps for video editing. But overall, if you're looking for a high performance tablet that's not from Samsung, these two are going to be some good options to consider. Both tablets are fine for doing most things like multitasking, gaming, but if you're wanting the more powerful tablet, you'll want to go with the iPad. Overall though, nice job from both companies when it comes to performance. Gaming is going to be pretty good on both tablets as well, and you can even play most of the same games on both tablets. I think most people will enjoy gaming on either one. It's definitely easier to game if you're connecting a controller on the larger P12 Pro. It's just going to be a little bit more of a stretch to reach stuff on the screen for the P12 Pro, but overall I think most people are going to enjoy gaming on either one. And the nice thing is you can download newer games like Apex Legends Mobile on both tablets as well. When it comes to software, Lenovo is still on Android 11, but considering Google has advertised this tablet as getting Android 12L, that should definitely be interesting once I get that update. The iPad Air 5 is on iPadOS 15.5 with 16 coming later this year, and that looks to be a pretty big update as well. There's things I like about both of these when it comes to the software, and some things are going to be a little bit different between the two, but it's probably going to come down to personal preference on which software you like better. You also get the Precision Pen 3 included with the Tab P12 Pro. The Apple Pencil 2nd Gen is not included with the iPad, but both actually work pretty good overall. The tip on the Precision Pen even sort of reminds me of the Apple Pencil, even though the design is a little more like the S Pen from Samsung. Both are a nice feature to have on a tablet for drawing, taking notes, or just moving around the software. Plus, you can use a mouse and keyboard to connect to these. You've got productivity mode on the P12 Pro, which is sort of their answer to Samsung DeX. And then the new iPadOS 16, which is coming, may give the iPad a slight advantage. On which one turns into a laptop a little bit better, we'll have to wait a few months to see. Nice thing is you can connect both of these tablets to use as a second display as well, so that's definitely a nice feature to have. And you've got a fingerprint scanner right there on the power button for both tablets. Nice to see that as well. One area the iPad is going to beat the P12 Pro is going to be software updates. The P12 Pro will be supported until the end of 2024. Which is pretty good for an Android tablet, but Apple usually supports their devices for about 5 years, which is definitely going to be hard to beat. And this is one area where if Lenovo starts matching the software support that you're going to get from Samsung, I feel like they could really start selling more tablets and pulling people away from Samsung and Apple. When it comes to sound or speakers on these two tablets, nice thing is you get quad speakers with Dolby Atmos on the P12 Pro, dual speakers with Dolby Atmos on the iPad Air, and yeah, they're going to be some of the best sounding when it comes to tablets. I feel like the P12 Pro sounds a little bit better, a little bit louder, but both are going to be nice if you're watching movies, shows, that sort of thing. Here's a quick audio test just to give you an idea of what to expect from each. The cameras are getting a lot better than they used to be on tablets, and that's sort of the case with these two. You get a 12 megapixel rear facing and then 12 megapixel front facing on the iPad Air, and it shoots up to 4K 60 frames per second for video recording. It's not quite as good on the Lenovo tablet. You get an 8 megapixel front facing, 13 megapixel rear facing. Then it also has a 5 megapixel wide angle on the back, and with 4K video recording, 30 frames per second. Only 1080 video recording for the front-facing camera. If you're looking for a tablet for Zoom meetings, video conference calls, you're probably going to want to grab the iPad. Here's a few samples of photos and video just to give you an idea of what to expect. So that's about all the time I have for this video. I'm hoping it was at least somewhat helpful or gave you some things to think about when trying to decide between these two. I've got more tablet and phone comparisons to do, plus what I like to call miscellaneous tech items, so you'll definitely want to look out for those. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.